If I got a problem, we got some sources for you here. You know what I'm telling you? Covetousness will cause you to do a lot of things that you probably wouldn't normally do. Yeah. And it'll lead you to steal. That's right. It'll lead you to extort. It'll lead you to say, to lie, right?
Led David to murder.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that's why you notice the commandments end with what? Thou shalt not covet. You know what I mean? Covetousness is really kind of like the springboard of most sins, believe it or not. Yep. It's really where they kind of start off from. You decide, what? I'd like to have that. And some people will even rob God. Now, you don't realize that, but that's covetousness. Yeah. When you rob God to have some stuff. Because look, the Bible describes this as idolatry. When you read in the text there, it says covetousness is idolatry. You know who's the idol that you worshiping? You. You become the idol. Because you say, what? I gotta have this. Now I know this is God's tithe, but you know what? I gotta have this. I always tickle me that people will tend to be more concerned about what they wear, what they have on when they come to church, than whether or not they're being truthful and honest with God. That's why I tell people all the time, many times people come in here with God's clothes on, his shoes, they drive up in his car, they took his money to buy those things, and they're more concerned about how they're viewed by the people they see than the God who sees all. Because God knows it was his money. And they come, and you know what? It always is amazing to me. That's kind of a pet peeve with me. People go to a restaurant and have a meal, and they'll tip. Watch this. They'll give the waiter 20%. Am I right? 20%. They'll come to church and be offended and say, Jesus paid it all. All to him I owe. And don't realize that God is the one who provides. We don't even think twice about writing that 20%. And look, sometimes you're in a restaurant, they'll have 50%. They'll have those numbers going up. I don't know who is dropping 50 and 80%, but they'll give you options, But those options start at 10 and they go up. No, they start at 15. I think they start at 15 and they go up. Yeah. But covetousness will make you greedy. It'll make you desire something that doesn't belong to you.
Before you commit the act of whether you're going to steal or whether you're going to rob, or the want for something that don't belong to you, and whether it's tithe, whether it's offering, whether it's your neighbor's a lawnmower, or whether whatever it is, the covetousness starts in the mind. Someone else has something that you want, and that's why the Bible speaks about he that is faithful in little will be faithful in much. And the reason why many of us don't have much is because God can't trust us with the little bit that he let us have.
That's exactly right. I hear people say this all the time. If I had more, I would give more. But you know what I find? They'll have whatever they want. It always tickles me. You ever seen a person who will, I've seen this a lot. They'll be driving a very, very nice vehicle. Okay? They'll be driving a very nice vehicle. They dress to the nines and everything. And they'll say, when the Lord bless me, I'm gonna be faithful to God. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give some more. Or, I talk to people sometimes say, well, I just don't like the way things are going, and I don't like the way things are going, and I think I'd like to see, things church done a little differently, and so I'm gonna take mine, and I'm gonna hold mine because I really don't like the leadership here, really, that's a covetous person. What they really, let me interpret that. They're basically saying, I'm not going to give my money if I can't control the direction of it. Well, they're not going to give it if they can control the direction of it. Now, that's the truth of the matter. Because it's really a relationship between them and God. That's a relationship that's a conversation you should never have with nobody. Because that relationship is between you and God. We return to God. I'm going to make this commercial. We return to God not because the church asks us. It's because God says so. That's right. It's really not a conversation that I got to have. Now, you know what? Yeah, there might be some things that they could do better. But guess what? I'm not going to negate my blessing from God because somebody who has the job of managing the funds, okay, who mismanages the funds, okay. So if they mismanage the funds, I'm not going to say, well, I'm not going to return to God because they mismanage the funds. Well, first of all, the blessing comes from Him and not them. Am I right? That's right. And so that's how we have to keep everything. If Brother Wheeler. That's right. It's really returning to God. It really is our relationship with God, you all. Now,
well, there's really no excuse for sin of any kind, but people will come up with all these things that they think fit the occasion, as you were just saying. But there's no excuse, okay? If God said it, then that's what you must do.
Yeah. And, I find this. People do what they want to do. I don't care what it is. They do what they want to do. If they want it, they'll do it. People do what they want to do, but but when it comes to God, because He doesn't come by and audit, but He does. Because He don't show up, you don't see Him do the audit, don't mean He's not auditing. We sometimes think, and we do those things because of covetousness, because there's something we want. We desire what belongs to God. That's what it's saying, you know what I mean? That's what belongs to God. We desire that. We don't want, do that. And when we use the leadership as an excuse for not doing it, but really, it's kind of like the children of Israel when they were in the wilderness and they were giving Moses a tough time. What did God say to Moses? Don't get your feelings hurt. They're not doing that to you, to me. They're trying to talk to me. They're using you, but they're really talking to me. And so let's move on. Okay, Tuesday lesson talking about remember your leaders. Now he's talking about, pray for your leaders, right? And you know what? And I always say this, and we ought to admonish those who labored, to tell us about Christ. Those who labor, for us. Give them the respect. That's what it's talking about here. But what we have to also remember too with Pierre, that's exactly right. And so what we have to do, like Paul says, we got to follow. Paul says, follow